Good morning Internet, Pete from the Fat Boy Ball channel here, and today you join me in Stowes Gardens. Today is all about just getting out, walking some miles again. We're doing it in nice pretty surroundings, and it doesn't get much prettier in this part of the country anyway than Stowes Gardens. So Stowe itself was named after a small Buckinghamshire village of the same name, but the estate has actually existed for nearly 1,000 years now, and even was mentioned in the Domesday Book. By 1712, the village consisted of 32 houses and 180 residents. As the original estate expanded, the village was actually absorbed by the estate, and the only remaining feature was Stowe Church, which now sits within the garden. In 1589, John Temple purchased the Stowe Manor and the grounds and estate that came with it, but very little actually changed with the estate over the decades until 1653, when Sir Richard Temple inherited the estate from his father once he passed away. He was now the fourth owner of the estate, and this is when the development of the gardens really began. The development began by planting a vineyard and constructing a walled kitchen, and in 1676 he actually started building a new mansion. While investigating the historical facts of Stowes Garden, I found an article that actually stated that my wife may predate the original building of the manor. Don't tell her I said that. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Queen's Theatre. The Queen's Theatre was conceived in the 1720s. It was originally designed as a formal area with a central canal and trees planted in grids. A statue to Princess Caroline formed the focal point, with the rotunda to the east providing views across the Ha-Ha over Home Park. During the latter part of the 18th century, Capability Brown, amongst other designers, introduced a more natural landscape style of gardening to the area. They filled the canal and ha-ha, turned the terrace into a valley and thinned the grids of trees while adding new conifers, so the views, well, they just look more natural. Princess Caroline's monument was moved to its current position in Home Park and rededicated to Queen Caroline.
You ruined my really nice long walking shot of you. Ruined it. How nice is this? Beautiful. There she is, off-roading on her new wheels. Woo!
Sadly, the grounds from 1860 to the 1920s were just basically left to go into ruin. And in the 1920s, it was bought by Harry Shaw for around £50,000, can you believe? I know it was the 1920s, but it's a lot of grounds for £50,000. Sadly, they started to sell a lot of the monuments off as well. And it was only in the early 2000s that they started to get some of the monuments back, and they've been replaced onto the grounds here now. I mean, what a shame. Can you imagine if we'd have ended up losing all of this heritage just because it was left to go to rack and ruin? I mean, it's just incredible. The detail on these still. What do you reckon? Fat boy bald with hair. Or Maximus Baldibus. That's what I think that is. It's me in Roman times. Maximus Baldibus.
Ah, this is the ha-ha. This is the ha-ha I was reading about. So a ha-ha is a way to stop the cattle from getting into the garden. So when Pete was saying he went to wreck and ruin, the cattle were all over the place in the gardens eating everything. So they built this, they dug this ditch which is called a ha-ha, and it's the first of its kind. And then they used this technique in a number of other places in the UK to prevent cattle from getting into areas that they weren't meant to be. Very clever.